First Amendment right of the Constitution. We have the right to be here, don't we, guys? So what we're going to do, we have a ton of speakers lined up for you guys. It's fantastic. This is not about Republicans versus Democrats anymore. This is more about liberty versus tyranny. And that's why we're all here today. Down with the tyrants. 6 Semper Tyrannis. So it's about 2:15. The speakers should go on until about 3 o'clock. We have some great speakers, and the next speakers will be Jackie Petrowski. But after this, we're just going to take a peaceful march right down Valley Forge Park. We had 2,000 soldiers here that marched barefoot in the snow on 1777 just to fight to protect this land. And we're going to honor them, right, guys? And that's exactly what we're doing here. So we're just peaceful patriots taking a walk in the park. It's civil disobedience in action. What would George Washington do? What would our founding fathers say if he let the British say, "You're not going to camp in this park"? We resist, and that's exactly what we're doing here today. So thank you guys for coming out, and I'm going to give this next to the next speaker, Jackie. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming again. My name's Jackie Petrowski. I'm founder of Citizens for Liberty. Thank you all for coming and turning our idea into a reality. This is amazing. I've been asking people all week, how has the shutdown affected them? And most people answered that their lives have been unnoticed and unchanged. Hopefully, if anything, this makes people realize that we don't need this large, unsustainable government anymore.
That's right. Yes.
Everybody, since it happened, whoever you talk to wants to throw the blame around. It's the Republicans or Democrats. It's not the Republicans or the Democrats. It's not Bush's fault. It's not Obama's fault. It's our fault because we allowed the bureaucrats in Washington to start controlling our lives.
That's right. Shut them down.
We allow them to take away our rights. It's sad that a walk in the park is considered an act of disobedience. It just shows that the vindictiveness of what we are dealing with. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about the American people. In just 1 week, we were able to organize this. Imagine if we all came together on bigger issues than a walk in the park.
We're just getting started.
Change this if we're not afraid to fight for it. You're all here today. We're all standing together to send a message. We will not surrender to your unjust laws. We will not be silent. You either fight for freedom or give it away without protest. Stand for freedom or kneel chained. It's your choice. Our time is now.
Thank you, Jackie Petrowski. We really do appreciate it. That's my sister-in-law, if I didn't say that. Here comes the Sons of Liberty.
All right.
And believe it or not, who's ever heard of the, just a little thing, maybe 2 million bikers down in D.C.?
Yeah.
We actually have them coming here, so a lot of these bikers are going to, the same people that went down D.C.
Hey, better was supposed to ride down here with the Sons of Liberty, but I guess they wouldn't let
So
us.
before we get into the main speakers, I'm going to have to ask Carol Sexton to come up here and sing a song. Let's give a round of applause for Carol Sexton. Come on, guys.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you, Carol.
to do that?
He said, uphold the Constitution. That's her son. We teach them young. But if we could introduce our next guest, Rob Boyson. He's a veteran. He fought for this country, so I'm gonna hand this over to Rob. Let's give him a round of applause, guys.
236 years ago, General George Washington and 12,000 men encamped here at Valley Forge during the winter of 1777. No battle was ever fought here, yet this site is one of the most sacred military sites in the entire world. For it was here that General George Washington reshaped, retrained, and instilled pride within the ranks of the ragtag group of men who became the core of the American forces who would later defeat the best trained, best equipped army in the world. Hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world visit Valley Forge every year, and what they learn here is that American perseverance, American know-how, American persistence have overcome the many obstacles and crises that this nation has endured since its birth. And now, Valley Forge, one of the most revered revolutionary sites, is closed to all of us. This park is not closed because it's Sunday. No, this park is closed because our elected representatives and our president refuse to talk and negotiate with each other to resolve budget issues that should have been resolved months and in some cases years ago.
Bunch of bums!
President Obama made the decision 13 days ago to close our national monuments, our national parks, our national museums, and other historically significant sites, not because of money, but because he is using them as a hostage to force the Republicans in Congress to agree to terms that are not in the best interest of we the people. In other words, President Obama is using Valley Forge and all the other national parks and historical sites as a pawn in his war against the American people. This is wrong. And the veterans who are gathered here today with friends, families, neighbors, and concerned Americans are here today to peacefully walk through Valley Forge to show President Obama, Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, and our elected officials that we will not sit idly by and do nothing. Join us today as we send President Obama and our elected officials in Washington, D.C. a message that they will understand. That message is we will not tolerate our government holding we, the American people, hostage while they choose not to talk to each other about our future. We will enter this historical site and we will not be stopped. Thank you very much. I want to thank everyone for coming out today. And I especially want to thank Steve and Jackie for putting all this together. Okay? I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Dr. Reverend Colonel, I'm going to call him the Colonel, Colonel Christopher Hirschman with the Pennsylvania Militia. Let's give him a round of applause, guys.
I'm a Lutheran clergyman, and I stand here in remembrance of Major General Peter Muhlenberg, who dwelled here in the winter of 1777 and 1778 on George Washington's staff. In 1775, one Sunday, he stood up in church in his pulpit robe and gave a long sermon about liberty and tyranny. And at the end of his sermon, he said, there is a time to pray and there is a time to fight. And now is the time to fight. And he pulled off his pulpit robe, revealing the full uniform of a colonel of Virginia militia, including sword.
Yeah!
How many of you will live with tyranny?
No!
How many of you want DHS breaking down your front door and coming in?
No!
How many of you will withstand what people put up with in Boston? No! How many of you are going to let your senior citizen get thrown of housing, build businesses closed just because of the whim of a tyrant.
No!
On the Pennsylvania seal, which was designed in 1778, there's a front and a back. The front has the coat of arms on. You're probably familiar with it. The reverse of the seal has on it Lady Liberty standing over a lion she has just slain with a sword. And the caption is, the motto is, both can't survive. Wow. Liberty and tyranny both can't survive. The man in the Oval Office who went to school and lived most of his life as Barry Soetoro, but now is known as Barack Hussein Obama, says, I will not negotiate with extremists. This is a man who has given money and weapons to our enemies, Al-Qaeda. Yeah. This is a man who has put members of Al-Qaeda on his White House staff. True. In the Department of Homeland Security and in the State Department. The United States Constitution calls him a traitor. Why is he still in office?
Traitor!
He has remained silent while Christians are being massacred all over the Middle East. He has subverted federal law to give weapons to Al-Qaeda and to pay for them and to encourage them and support them all over the world. He's used the IRS, the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, and the National Security Administration to persecute and spy on you. Who's in favor of that?
No!
He's used them as his personal Gestapo against the American people. But then we're supposedly the extremists. There is a difference between him and Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler didn't have cruise missiles or nuclear warheads. If you think about it, there are camps already being prepared. They're stocking up on ammunition and coffins. And what do you think of that? Who here is for tyranny?
No!
Why is that man still in the White House?
Throw the bum out.
He is a parasite. Why is he in the White House?
Parasite, put him there!
We can't just blame Congress. Every one of us has to take responsibility. And may God help us and keep us faithful to this task. When the Founding Fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, they pledged their lives, their liberty, and their sacred honor. Nowadays, people are barely willing to get off their living room sofa. And that is so sad. Because generations of Americans have shed their blood, their sweat and their tears to make this country what it is. And we will not surrender. We will not give in.
No.
We will not let the tyrant succeed.
No.
As Benjamin Franklin said on the day that the Declaration of Independence was signed. Well, now we either stand together, hang together, or we certainly will all hang separately. Regarding walking on this place, there is no law. I checked out, there is no law that keeps us off of here. And the tyrant has taken our tax dollars to pay for all these new fences and all these barricades that keep us off, saying he doesn't have any money. Well, let me say one last thing. The fact of the matter is that when Thomas Jefferson once said, when a law is unjust, not only should a man not obey it, but he's obliged not to.
Yeah.
No justice in keeping American citizens off of our land. And the tyrant must go. Whether he be impeached or whether he be removed from office, the man needs to go to jail. All
right, thank you. Let's give him one more round of applause, guys. He's got a point. We're out here to fight against tyranny. And we're here to stand for liberty.
And it has nothing to do with his color of his skin. It has to do with his lack of character.
Yeah!
That's right. Yeah, that's amazing. Look at all these patrons here. Thank you, guys. Well, our next speaker is Darren Wolf. So, Darren Wolf, could you please come up here? Let's give him a round of applause.
Woo!
Okay, thank you, Steve. But especially thank you to all of you brave, liberty-minded people who came out here today in defiance of federal tyranny. Yes. So let me ask you a question to get started. Do we have any progressives here today? If you're a progressive, raise your hand, please. Okay, no hands came up. Very good, very good. I ask that because that is really what we are here protesting today. That's what we're here protesting against, progressivism. Because remember, progressivism gave us things like the Federal Reserve System. It gave us things like the income tax. Progressivism gave us things like regulation of everything in sight. And the gentleman said 17th Amendment. Progressivism also gave us things like, progressivism gave us the IRS, but also progressivism gave, that's what I said, the Federal Reserve. Progressivism also gave us the police state. And lastly, progressivism gave us the National Park Service. And the only thing I will give them to their credit is that today they're not here. However, that said, the National Park Service has shamelessly played their role in this shutdown theater. They shut down what's most visible. They shut down what will cause us the most pain, like the parks. But isn't it interesting that the IRS didn't have to shut down for the shutdown? Did the ATF shut down for the shutdown? No, but we have to shut down.
The Fed's still pumping.
Parks. What are we going to do? Today we live in a world of the progressives' creation. It is, where is it? Somewhere halfway between socialism and liberty. And it is a very volatile mixture. We live in a world increasingly ruled by force. Force wielded by a very powerful government. So whether it's the force of the income tax, the force of regulation, the force of compulsory education, or the force of law enforcement, the results are clear to anyone willing to see. And that is a society becoming sicker and more aggressive. Progressivism has failed to achieve its lofty ideals. Instead, it has created our present situation of taxation and oppression, crime and murder. Society will only heal by turning away from being ruled by force and back towards voluntary interaction between its members. The answer is liberty.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, let's hear it for liberty. The National Park Service, I almost hoped that there would be some of them here today. I would have loved to point to them, but anyways. Yeah, regardless, the Park Service and everybody else in the government, they love to sell us, oh, you need us, you need us. We do all these things for you, we protect you, and blah, blah, blah. No, that is a lie. That's the biggest lie you'll ever hear. We do not need them, they need us. Exactly. They need us to be sheep, compliant sheep, paying our taxes so they can keep leeching off of us. And that is the answer to how we're going to get our liberty back.
Withdraw consent.
Withdraw consent, withdraw our support. That is the key. If there's one thing that we can take away from this event today, one lesson that can be learned is that we do not morally owe taxes to anyone. Morally, not legally, Morally, we do not owe taxes to anyone. Taxation is theft. Taxation is tyranny, and the sooner it ends, the better. Then we can be free. Now, let's hear it for free. Come on. Oh, that's illegal. Henry David Thoreau is well known for his work, Civil Disobedience. All kinds of people like to cite him. They say, oh, civil disobedience. We'll do civil disobedience like Thoreau, like Thoreau. Well, you know what they very conveniently forget to mention is what Thoreau's civil disobedience was. Thoreau was protesting slavery in the Mexican War. And what he did, or I should say what he didn't do, was pay taxes. That's why he went to jail. And that is exactly the lesson we learn. He is showing us the way. Here's what he wrote on the subject. A minority is powerless while it conforms to the majority. It is not even a minority then. But it is irresistible when it clogs by its whole weight. If 1,000 men were to not pay their tax bills this year, that would not be a violent and bloody measure. This is, in fact, the definition of a peaceable revolution. If the tax gatherer or any other public officer asks me, as one has done, but what shall I do? My answer is, if you really wish to do anything, resign your office. When the subject has refused allegiance and the officer has resigned his office, then the revolution is accomplished. And then we can be free. Now, I was going to chide. I was hoping to have some park rangers here to chide them, to say, put down your badges, come here and join us standing for liberty. But they're not here. I know, they're ruining my speech. Anyways, so let me close with a message to them and to everybody else who supports federal tyranny today. And that would be with the words that Samuel Adams had for the people that supported British tyranny in his time. If ye love wealth greater than liberty, the tranquility of servitude greater than the animating contest for freedom, go home from us in peace. We seek not your counsel nor your arms. Crouch down and lick the hand that feeds you. May your chains set lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that you were our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren, so much. Wow, this is amazing. It feels like the Boston Tea Party all over again. We're doing this right in Valley Forge Park. Disobeying unjust and immoral laws.